Josh, come on, run over here. Hey, I'll tell you what, look.
Let me see that. That's a nice Sudbury speck.
Hi, I'm Darryl Choronzey, and today we're doing something, and I mean entirely different. We're about 5 minutes out of Sudbury, right?
Yeah.
Downtown Sudbury. We're fishing put and take brook trout, and I mean Sudbury's got a story to tell. Stick with us, because we're going fishing.
That's right.
If you take that off the hook, I'm gonna go right back at it.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey is brought to you in part by Ontario, more to discover, Yamaha Motor Canada, and by Abu Garcia. Closed captioning of Going Fishing is brought to you by Fish Crisp. It's funny how so few of us actually realize the phenomenal fishing that's available so close to our own homes. It's even more amazing how we overlook the fantastic sport fishing in and around the larger municipalities within Ontario's North Country. Today, Choronzey has accepted an invitation from his son Josh to discover the ice fishing potential that lies right within the city limits of downtown Sudbury. Josh has taken up residence in this northern city, where he's enrolled at Laurentian University. He's spent more than enough time studying the fantastic all-season fishing available in and around the city known as the Big Nickel.
Buddy, I don't care whether you like it or not. The next time I come fishing with you, ice fishing, I'm bringing my gas auger. But you don't like the gas auger when we're fishing for specks and splake and anything close to shore?
Anything in the shallow water that follows the shorelines. I like the hand augers. A little more sweating, but if you keep them sharp, it does the trick and doesn't scare the fish.
Keeps you in shape. Before we go any farther, we are fishing really close to shore again. Shallow water, and you even said when the guys come out on the ATVs or they come out on the snowmobiles, it spooks the fish, right?
Shuts them right down pretty quick.
You know, we've seen it that the ATV will go by or a snowmobile will go by, and we're in the midst of a real good bite, and all of a sudden, bam, it shuts right down. You gotta wait 15, 20 minutes to get them back on the bite.
I've seen the same with guys moving into an area with power augers too.
You know, and again, we are using the manual augers. Here's a real smart idea for you. Every year at Christmas, ask the wife to get you a new set of blades, right? Because you get about a year out of these. They dull real easy.
Yeah, they do. You gotta take care of them. I take mine, I dry them off every time at home, and I oil them up a bit and put the cover on and keep her nice and dry inside so they don't rust up.
Blades are only $15, right? That's better than a heart attack.
Sure.
Let's go fishing.
Getting there is brought to you by Ontario, more to discover. Sudbury is easy to reach. From Buffalo, Hamilton, or Toronto, it's fastest and more direct to travel on the Queen Elizabeth Highway, north on the 400 Highway to Highway 69, and then due north to Sudbury, Ontario. From the west and Sault Ste. Marie, simply follow Highway 69 east to the city.
Got him. Whoa! You're missing the action.
What's this now? Is that my fish?
I said you're missing the action.
Look at how close we are to the weeds right here.
Right, he's feeding on a perch there. Pull that out of his mouth.
Take that right out.
Looks like a perch.
Yeah.
What's left of a
Look
perch.
how close we are to this little shoal here.
Well,
You know? How deep are you here?
maybe. I see it on camera. I set the hook and pulled him right out of the hole, maybe a foot and a half.
1.5 feet deep. What we're doing is we're following the fish pretty well, eh? We've been digging a bunch of holes around the lake, but the fish are following the shoreline.
Yeah, they're pushing what's in this lake for bait fish into the weeds.
And they're getting into the weeds.
It's a major structure, and we find a lot of the times they're feeding on leeches and any kind of bug or nymph that's in the weeds too.
Well, you'll get guys that'll come onto these lakes and they'll go out in the middle And they figure that's where the trout are, right?
Yeah.
We're no more
Look at
than 10
shorelines
feet
right
from a
here.
rock pile in the middle of the lake.
Same as that hole's back there.
I'm going back and I'm gonna get my wobbler. I'm gonna jig up a couple, okay? You stay with it.
All right. You better take it or I'm gonna take it.
There's one I got, Josh. I got. Now, you tell me, does it get any better or does it get any better than fishing near Sudbury?
These Sudbury speckles are quick to blast, let me tell you.
Okay, real quick. We've already mentioned this. These are stocked speckles, right?
That's right.
They've been put in for one reason, to be caught. They've been put in the spring, the summer, and the fall. And you said they drop them in here by airplane, right?
Yep.
We've put how many specks would go into a lake this big?
I think this lake got 3,500.
And this lake is only maybe a mile long, quarter mile wide, maybe a half mile wide at the most, right?
Yep.
And again, we are only 10 minutes from downtown Sudbury, right?
Yep.
And we're just clobbering the fish.
Look at the beautiful colors on that.
You say they're red fleshed, eh?
Oh yeah, they're excellent to eat.
And they're great eating.
They are so.
We're gonna have a little fry on the ice later.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll take my speck, right? I'm gonna put them on ice. You rig up again.
Okay.
Get him, get him, get him.
Just a little one.
Again, 2 feet of water, right?
Well, look at
If
we got
that.
the weeds coming through.
And
the
you're
hole.
looking for weeds.
Yeah, they really key in on the structure, and a big part of the structure for the brookies is once the ice hits everywhere, it's fair game. They're in shallow.
You know, we've got, how many people are out here today? We've probably got 50 people out here today. How many people do you usually see out here?
On a weekday, not this many. Weekend, we see anywhere from a dozen to 50 people. On the more popular lakes closer to town, if you want to get some solitude, there's
This is
hundreds
it.
of bush lakes you can go to.
Now, this is the 3rd of January, right?
Yep. It's only been open for 2 days.
Today's a Monday, and you said you don't like fishing the weekends because you may see 50, 60, 70 people, right? But other days you'll come out here during the week and you'll see 5 or 6, and that's it?
On select lakes closer to the city, you'll see crowds on weekends, but there's lakes you can go to and not see people all year that are still within 30 minutes of the city.
Okay, you fish this hole. I'm going back to my rock pile just out 25 yards from here, and we'll see who gets the first fish, right?
We got to race to the minnow bucket now.
No, I'm going to walk to the minnow bucket.
Sudbury is the commercial center of northeastern Ontario and is often referred to as the Big Nickel. It's Canada's largest mining, smelting, and refining center. Formed by a fallen meteor, the Sudbury Basin is home to 17 mines and provides 16% of the world's nickel. But Sudbury is also the center of a sportsman's paradise. The city has tackle shops, bait shops, and recreation vehicle suppliers to get you out on the water or out on the ice for your fishing excursions. A dozen lakes are located right within the city limits and are usually located within minutes of your hotel lodging. These lakes are stocked on an annual basis to provide phenomenal put, grow, and harvest sport fishing all year long, and that's especially true in the winter months for ice fishing. Sudbury, you've just gotta love it.
I'm with Keith Scott. Now, Keith, you're a Fish and Wildlife Technical Specialist, right?
That's correct, yeah, here in Sudbury District.
What's the name of this lake?
It's Broder 23 is this lake, and it's one of 2 lakes in Sudbury that we stock with a catchable brook trout, just trying to promote an urban fishery.
It's a put, take, or put, grow, and take, eh?
Put and take. These fish are within a month or so. Usually they are gone. This lake receives quite a bit of pressure.
Okay, how many, like I'm looking at this lake, it's a mile long, maybe a quarter mile wide. How many brook trout do you actually put in Broder?
We upped the stocking rates here a little bit. We put 3,000 in this year. We try to do that either annually or bi-yearly or whatever, just to promote an urban fishery and get kids out and everyone out fishing.
Now, if somebody comes up to Sudbury, say somebody comes up from Toronto or New York State or whatever, they can phone you in advance. You can fax them a stocking list, right?
Most certainly. We do have an extensive stocking list. We stock about 80 lakes here in Sudbury. We rely on a strong stocking program to provide a good quality fishery. We work with quite a few partners, quite a few game and fish clubs, and some real active, some real good work that they do as well.
So the message that you want to put out there is that you've got a lot of lakes around Sudbury and you've got a lot of fish stocked in those lakes,
Yep.
and you want to see a lot of anglers coming up from the south to enjoy the fishery
Oh,
out
most
there.
certainly. Use it wisely. It's a renewable resource. And certainly lakes like this where they're catchable, we're, like I say, bring your kids. We certainly want to promote, kids to
fishing.
fish, kids fishing, and come on up and have a good time.
Listen, do yourself a favor, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're in Hamilton, whether you're in Buffalo or wherever.
Sure.
Get your butts up to Sudbury, because I'm telling you, there's fish. And I'm going fishing right now. Let's go for it.
Right on, let's go.
You know, some people like to fish outside, and that's me, but there is a way to ice fish and stay warm. I think I got my buddy inside this portable. You comfortable?
Yeah, it's pretty warm in here until you open that up.
What you've got is these portable huts, and you can use these as sleds. You can load up all your gear at the car, hook it up on the back of the ATV or the snowmobile, and come back out fishing in comfort, eh?
Fishing in comfort is right.
You know?
Close me back up. I want to catch some
Close you
fish.
back up, okay. What these do, though, is they're light, they're easy to set up, they just pop right up, as a matter of fact, but you do stay warm in there. The sun starts heating this up, he's probably gonna have 50 degrees in there. Unless I go like this and give him -5 degrees.
Back down.
Back down, okay. But you gotta really love these things. They're light, and again, they are sleds. You can hook them up on the back of the snowmobile, and you're out on the ice.
Going fishing returns in a moment.
Buddy, hot time on the cold ice. What do you think?
It's how it's been today, that's for sure.
Does it get any better? Is it like this all the time up here?
It's better. It definitely is better than how it's been so far this
You know,
morning.
he's supposed to be up in Sudbury going to university, right? But I wonder how many days you spend out here ice fishing.
Well, I learn just as much half the time on the ice as I do in the classroom.
Okay, real quick. Today we brought tip-ups. We brought the rods and reels, right? And you said, no, we're going to make it simple. We got a spool of line. We got a hook. We've got some minnows. And you picked up some branches from shore. So how do you set this up?
It's quite simple. We're drilling our holes in about 3 feet of water today.
Yeah.
I take a willow twig off the shoreline that's got some nice flexibility to it. It goes into the slush. On the business end of the 4 or 6 pound test spool, a bait holder hook to a
little
chub,
yeah.
about 12 inches or so to a split shot.
Yeah.
I send it down, I find bottom, I pull it up a few inches, I half hitch on an elastic band.
Yeah.
It's going to hold the line at the right depth
Okay.
on the twig, and it goes back onto the spool, and you're ready to fish.
Okay, now, the secret is, though, the fish is going to come along, right?
Yep.
And you're watching that twig bounce, and he's going to take that hard enough, he's going to pop that elastic, right?
Yep, he's going to bend it right over.
It's going to go down. The spool will fall into the water sometimes.
Sometimes it will. If you set it back far enough, you're okay.
But
and it's
even if
gonna
it
spin.
falls in,
It's going to float.
it floats, right?
Yep.
Easy technique, eh?
It's easy enough as long as he doesn't take all the line on you.
And we've had that happen.
So let's get back and see if we can get a couple more.
Okay. Go, 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 go. Josh, guess what? I just dropped the wobbler down. Look at that.
Ooh, that's a,
Now, this is a little break in the technique, eh?
that's a nice male, too.
Nice fish.
Williams wobbler?
Yeah, I decided I was going to get away from your northern tip-up. So I'm going to call that the northern tip-up. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But when you get up here, you can use the branch technique that we're going to talk about, but you can also use a wobbler,
Yeah.
right? And again,
Time and tested, Swedish pimples, anything you want.
we're
Great
not,
spoons.
you know, right behind the cameraman, not 10 feet away are weeds and rocks, right? We're 40 yards out from the main shore of the lake, but if we find the structure, right? And again, we're only in 2.5, 3 feet of water.
If you're lucky, yeah. Set the hook, you're
Nice
pulling
fish,
them up.
eh?
Let's toss that one back. We got a lot sitting on the ice over there for.
I think I'm going to
for
keep
a
that
fry.
guy.
You gonna keep that
I'm gonna
one?
keep that guy. You can
That-
toss your own
that
back. You
does
can't
surprise
toss
me.
mine back. Again, and what we are is we're in a put and take lake.
Yeah, strictly.
You know, these
strictly
fish
urban
are-
fishing, put and take.
They're put in for the sport of it, right? But they're also put in for the food,
Yep.
right?
We'll fry them up later on.
Go put him in the pot for me, thank you. I'll just keep jigging, Josh.
Okay.
Josh, Josh, Josh. Listen, how come I'm playing with the poor man's tip-up and you've got my wobbler over here?
Well, it seemed to be, after all the excitement we had over there, they just shifted it down the bay a little
You
further.
decide to move. Now, once again, these fish are stocked this year. Now, you
Yep.
do find bigger fish up to maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, but they've been in the lake for almost a year and a half, eh?
That's right.
Okay, let's let that guy go. What is a good day up here, Josh?
A good day on the closer lakes to town, this one especially, it gets pumped with a lot of fish from the M&R because it's so close and they want to promote urban fishing. We could get into 30, 40 fish before lunch hour some days.
Really?
Other days the weather system comes in, like maybe today, and you're talking tops 2 dozen fish.
Now, the action seems to come in spurts here sometime. Again, we're no more at any time than 20 yards from shore or 5 feet even from some of these rock piles. But,
That's how deep we are there. We're only in 3.5 feet of water.
well, and these fish will come down in little packs, right?
Yep.
And the action will be bang, bang, bang. It'll be nonstop. And then all of a sudden, it dies off for maybe half an hour, and then it comes right back again.
They just they follow up and down the shoreline pushing bait fish. So
It's pretty out here.
it is. It's a nice place.
And again, honestly, we are only a 5 to 10 minute drive from town.
That's exactly.
And this town of Sudbury, or the city of Sudbury, I guess it is, right? It actually has lakes right in town where they're stocking brook trout and splake and walleye.
Yeah, and walleye.
It's quite the area.
It's an overlooked fishery that a lot of people, I don't know whether they fail to pay attention to it or they just don't want to drive this far. But if you're going to drive it to Temagami or Nipissing and your fishing shuts
Why not
off,
come to Sudbury?
you got nowhere to go. Here we got tons of different lakes with tons of different species to fish for all the time.
Well, the people in Toronto seem to have the feeling that, well, I'm going to go to Barrie to Lake Simcoe, or I'm going to go to North Bay to Lake Nipissing, right?
Yep.
I tell you what, do yourselves a favor, get up into Sudbury, because the action is nonstop here.
And it's a lot of fish you don't get to catch anywhere
I'm
else.
going over to my tip-up. You can keep jigging.
I just saw one down the hole.
Josh, you know, I like coming up north. I like using wobblers and stuff like that, right? But you said we're running minnows today, right? So when I come up last night, Josh already had the minnows. And when you come into Sudbury, or you go into most places, the bait dealers now have got oxygen bags, right?
Yep, and then you can hold them for 2 or 3 days in those bags if you have some refrigeration.
You know, yeah, well, what'd you do, leave them out in the balcony of your apartment last night?
Denise let me put them in the fridge.
Oh, you had them in the fridge, okay. we wanted to talk real quick. There's not a more lethal bait than the minnows and the chubs, right?
Yep.
But there are some regulations. There are some lakes up in the north where you can't use minnows, right?
That's right. If you're getting a stocking list from the MNR, you should always go through on the regulations with the names of the lakes and to make sure that there's not certain slot size limits or no live baits.
Well, we just checked with the ministry tech, right? And he was telling us how they stock these lakes. But he's a little concerned. You told him that you caught some perch in here last year, and perch probably came in somebody's bait bucket, right? They've emptied out the bait bucket, and the perch can take hold, and they can knock off your brook trout fishery.
Sure, it happens all the time.
You know, again, you want live minnows when you come up here, and when you're finished fishing, don't dump your minnows down the hole.
No,
You know,
take them home.
take 'em
Great
home
way
with
to
you.
do it is take them home, freeze them, and you can use them for chum if you're going out on Simcoe.
Yeah, you don't want to put them in the lake because you don't know what you're starting by dumping a pail full of minnows. You know, for all you know, you could have baby pike in there, you could have baby walleye in there, and some of these lakes are brook trout lakes, and they don't want pike and they don't want walleye in them.
That's exactly right.
You can go over and bait me up, buddy, over at the hole. That's what I come over for, and we can catch some more.
Okay.
And now for the Montana's Cookhouse tip of the week. Remember, brook trout fishing is generally carried out over shallow water. Fish do hear and can spook easily, especially when the water under your feet is less than 5 or 6 feet in depth. Using hand augers instead of noisier gas models is a must. Any loud voices or feet shuffling over the ice will spook brook trout feeding in shallow water.
Brendan O'Farrell.
Darryl Choronzey, how you doing?
It's a little nippy out, my boy.
Yes, she is. She's
Yeah?
a little nippy.
What have you been up to?
Just a bit of fishing here and there.
Okay, I
Yourself?
told you I was going to go brook trout fishing. What's the name of that little lake?
Broder.
It's hot. It's not that far away either. I can get
No.
over here in the Yams pretty
No,
quick.
no.
Listen, you're not fishing brook trout. What are you fishing?
Today I'm actually out for Splake.
Okay, we're going to talk about the Splake in a second. How many Splake lakes have they got between Sudbury and Espanola?
Oh, at least a good dozen or so.
Okay, I'm not more than, I would say, 5 miles from Broder. You know, around fishing,
Yep,
fishing
yep.
the brookies, right? So, and Josh said you're over here. Brendan is a fisheries technician with the Ministry of Natural Resources. You're also one, I can say, you're one hell of a steelhead guide.
Well, we don't want to be, we want to be modest here, but yeah, I like my steelhead.
Brendan does steelhead fishing on the North Shore. We won't say where, right?
No, we won't say
But,
where.
and again, because of the CRTC, I really can't push Brendan's guide business. But if you want to have some great steelhead action, get hold of Brendan. Brendan, you're in charge of a lot of the stocking around here. At least you're helping the ministry with the stocking, right?
Yeah, we've done quite a bit of stocking this year and this spring.
On Broder, I'm in it's a put, grow, and take brook trout fishery.
Right.
But why the Splake?
Well, the Splake are they grow fast, they're easy to catch, and they provide a great fishery for the community.
Okay, and they're a put, grow, and
It's a put, grow, and take fishery. It's basically to take pressure off the local wild, naturally reproducing brook trout lakes.
Okay, now on something like Broder with the brook trout, if the brook trout do kick in naturally, all the better. But with the splake, they're not reproducing, so you can put them in lakes and not worry about them.
We don't have
taking
to worry
off.
about them taking off. We don't have to worry about them reproducing. It's strictly a put-take fishery.
Okay. Listen, are you coming over to Broder later to have some brook trout?
I think I might come over and have a little shore lunch with you guys over at Broder, yeah?
I got the kid over there, and he's tearing it up.
Well, he keeps telling me he's a great cook, so.
Well, if he is, he must have learned from his mother. But anyways, if you're coming over, fish here. Look at this.
There we go.
If he's coming over, right, I'm going to suggest that we save you some fillets. But I also think that you should be bringing some splake back with you first.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll definitely bring some splake over.
Enjoy your splake fishing.
Good to see you, Darryl.
I'll catch you later.
Take care.
Going fishing returns with shore lunch.
Buddy, nothing better than fishing in Sudbury, even with the snow coming down right now. But where else can you eat your fish right on the ice where you catch them?
Never done it with you, and I've never done it before. It's going to be a first.
Who cleaned them?
Well, of course, I did.
Thanks, pal. Listen, these are pretty respectable brook trout for in here. I'm gonna put them all in here. And
Starting to freeze up on us almost.
give them a shake. Yeah, it's getting cool out here.
It is so.
It's gonna shake that off.
Oh, that looks good.
That's really good, eh?
And what'd you put that in? A little roasted herb and garlic or garlic and butter?
Garlic and butter, right? And that's it. Just rolled them in. They were damp. Just rolled them in it, and then put it on the oil. You know, while this is cooking, I want to go over a couple things with you. You can come up here and you can get the stocking list from the Sudbury office.
Yep.
The Espanola office.
You can do this all over Ontario. If you're fishing in the Ottawa area, if you're North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, Wawa, you can do it anywhere.
Just get hold of the local district of the Ministry of Natural Resources. Ask them for a stocking list, lakes, right?
Yep.
And you visit those lakes. A couple things that we should remember. You need your fishing license.
You need your fishing license.
You got to dress safe, right?
And be smart.
Yeah, and read the regulations because some of these lakes don't allow live bait.
Some are slot sizes, some are reduced limits. You should pay attention to, especially when you're in the north. Not everyone's always familiar with what's going on, so.
It's paradise up here. I know you don't like that word, but it's paradise.
Let's flip these little guys.
I'm just gonna try just a touch of this.
How's that? Fried brook trout on ice.
Fried brook trout on ice in Sudbury. We'll see you next week. Listen, let's go sit down, we'll eat, and go back out fishing.
Sounds like a good
Go
idea.
for it. I'll hold it there.
Oh, thanks a lot. You're gonna probably eat them too.
For more information on all our going fishing destinations, visit goingfishingtv.com. Going Fishing has been brought to you by Ontario, More to Discover, Montana's Cookhouse, and by Berkeley Trilene. Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Going fishing.